reports of the ABC whistleblower. It happened, it's disgraceful and should be a national scandal. But it's one of those things where I'd like to see a little bit more information come in before I actually develop an opinion.
What is the ABC whistleblower that Senator J.D. Vance is weighing in on there? Allow me to tell you. 2 days after the ABC News presidential debate, an anonymous X or Twitter account called Black Insurrectionist leveled an outrageous and unsubstantiated claim that seemed insane on its face, that an ABC News whistleblower that somehow this anonymous account knew about was claiming that ABC News gave the Harris campaign sample debate questions in advance and had assured Harris that only Donald Trump, not Harris, would be fact-checked. Crazy. Despite the total lack of any verifiable evidence from this random anonymous Twitter account making this claim, the post racked up millions of views on X. And then it got even worse. Elon Musk spread the claim to his 200 million followers. Donald Trump shared it on his social media, and then in a speech a few days later, he said this.
I hear she got the questions.
It's not a real person. Senator Ted Cruz, who should know better, given the vile internet rumors Trump pushed about him in 2016, Senator Ted Cruz tweeted about this nonsense. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene took it a step further, writing, quote, "The ABC whistleblower who claimed Kamala Harris was given debate questions ahead of the debate has died in a car crash, according to news reports," unquote. Nearly 5 million views. She later acknowledged that the story about the mysterious death of the whistleblower was false, but she continued to demand an investigation. Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Muser, a Republican, agreed.
We're going to do what we can to bring ABC in and have them answer some questions.
There is no whistleblower. This is all based on a random anonymous claim on the internet, never backed up by any verifiable evidence. ABC News, of course, has denied it all, saying that they followed their own debate rules, which prohibited the sharing of topics or questions with any candidates. This isn't just a coincidence. A few random folks mistakenly, credulously repeating misinformation. This is now a feature of this movement. These are among the leaders of the effort to discredit news media and science and medicine and any expertise. The trajectory is road at this point. A shit poster invents a lie, puts it on social media, and soon the possible next president of the United States is spreading it to millions, if not hundreds of millions, if not billions of people.
Did you see where she did a town hall yesterday and she used a teleprompter?
She didn't use a teleprompter for her town hall. The moderator of the Univision town hall had a teleprompter, not Kamala Harris. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene just went on Alex Jones, who has spread those horrific lies about school shootings not being real. She went on that show to spread wild stories about voting in this current election just a few days ago.
So when this voter printed their ballot and they looked, it had changed. That's extremely concerning. It sounds similar to what we heard in 2020.
Something's extremely concerning, but it's not the story there. Trump booster Elon Musk has been peddling something similar about voting.
The Dominion voting machines, it is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places.
They're not used in Philadelphia. And in point of fact, a hand count in Maricopa County, Arizona, after the 2020 election found 0 variances between the hand count and the Dominion tabulation. 0. There are questions that Musk is referring to because election liars keep pushing them. And we know where lies about elections can lead to destruction and death in one of the darkest days in American democracy. Jonathan Swift once said, "Falsehood flies and the truth comes limping after it." He said that in the year 1710. He did not know how much worse it would get. With social media and AI and wildly irresponsible leaders with huge platforms. God, what would Jonathan Swift think today? Buckle up. It's going to be a rough 16 days.
I am not looking for a viral moment. See how I don't let men interrupt my answers? Very demure, very mindful. I am here to reach across the aisle. Hundreds of Republicans have endorsed me because in the club, we all fam.
A remarkably remarkably astute Harris by Maya Rudolph there. Welcome back to State of the Union. I'm here with my panel. Let me just start with the question about where we are in the race right now. Democrats seem worried. What do you think?
Democrats are always worried. I mean, we're proverbial bedwetters. We clutch pearls. But I'm also like off the roller coaster because I know people think that Election Day is November 5th, but Election Day started a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And so we actually have, people are saying, well, let's follow the betting markets or let's follow the polls or whatever Jake Tapper or whatever pundit may say. And I say disregard all of that because right now you actually can tell who's voting, where they're voting, what that looks like, be able to formulate an opinion. And I think both Democrats feel they're doing well and Republicans feel they're doing well as well. I'm excited about Pennsylvania, though.
What do you think? Because I hear Republicans. I'm going to go to her in a second. I'm going to go to her in a second. But what do you think about the state of the race? Because Republicans on the Trump campaign seem to be very confident.
I think it's all about North Carolina and Georgia at this point because I believe Pennsylvania looks great for Republicans in both the Senate race and the presidential race. I think Donald Trump could win Pennsylvania by as much as 2. And I think Georgia, North Carolina are now Democrats have to pursue that southern strategy, add one of those with Nevada. That's their path.
You're from Pennsylvania, so you have a good read.
Let me say that it feels very different in Pennsylvania than that. It's close. But let me tell you 3 events I went to just recently. Berks County Democratic dinner this week. 450 Democrats packed into a room that happened to have been built with ARPA dollars. Never have we had numbers like that in Berks County. My other county, Montgomery County, we're about to have 450 at a dinner tonight, and that's including some Republicans and some independents. But how about Kamala Harris in Bucks County, flanked by all those Republicans?
At Washington's Crossing.
At Washington Crossing, a poignant setting, a remarkable outreach. There's just a lot going on.
Bucks County actually flipped this year. Registration, Republicans now lead in registration in Bucks County for the first time. I think it's actually maybe the county to watch, and I think it'll be very, very close on Election Day.
We always call Montgomery County the key to the Keystone, but you're absolutely right. Bucks is going to be one to watch, and there's a really exciting race there. Ashley Ehas running in the Pennsylvania 1st. Watch her.
But that's the interesting part when we're talking about voter registration now, because of the shift in the dynamics for the parties overall that we've seen the realignment in the last decade. Republicans now are more lower propensity voters. They brought more of those into the fold when the realignment happened. Democrats have more high propensity voters that sit there. So right now you're seeing Kamala Harris, when she's doing events with Liz Cheney over the last few weeks, they've put out country over party, right? That's a new message. That's a persuasion message. It's because right now Democrats are still trying to find votes to bring into the fold, try and get voters out there persuading instead of doing more get out the vote efforts.
I think is interesting is Democrats are doing a game of addition. You see Donald Trump, and honest to God, I don't know what they're doing, but it is a game of subtraction.
But the point is
dehumanize, demoralize.
So he's picking up with white males. He's picking up with young Latino and Black voters. Those are
let me dispel a little bit of that because what we've seen so far is contrary to all the narratives that we've seen. Black voters have been showing up at the polls on early voting in Georgia, in North Carolina. I mean, we've been doing black male events around the country, and so I know that we think
black male events.
Black male events,
not blackmail.
No, there's.
Good.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, the blackmail events are what Elon Musk is doing.
Right. Okay. So, anyway.
But what's happening though, and that kind of is a segue to my next point, is that the ground game of the Republican Party is non-existent. You talked about GOTV, and the reason being is because Donald Trump has advocated that, and he's given it to Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk, who don't know what the.
Well, I've heard a lot about that. Is that true? Is that true that the ground game is outsourced?
Look, first off, Republicans are different from Democrats. Democrats are lemmings who take orders from Washington. Republicans are entrepreneurial. So we have our ground game is built state by state.
Oh my
it's going to be a little bit different.
It's
going to be a little bit.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if you all read Ann Applebaum's article this week about the language that Trump and his acolytes are using vermin, calling people to demoralize them, to other them, to say there's an enemy from within, that he would like to use the National Guard and the military. This is stuff from the 1930s. This is Hitler stuff. I wonder why Republicans aren't calling it out, not to mention calling out the 12 minutes talking about parts of Arnold Palmer.